Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of my EU4 achievement run playthrough as Naples, where we attempt to make Naples into a great power. I want to apologize in advance for this one. I'm not sure what happened, but I noticed as I was editing that about 6 months of uh like 77, 78 went missing. No idea what's up with that. I cannot find them anywhere. I promise nothing interesting happened in that 6 months, but you will notice a time skip here of about 6 months. Sorry about that. It's just totally gone for some reason from my videos. But anyway, let's jump back in here. All right, so just take a minute here to get kind of re-familiar with where we left off. Go check on Portugal real quick. We can use a job like Tim. Yep. Okay. See if we can do anything to endear the Portuguese to us. A new paper bowl. Okay, that's nice. See if we can do anything to endear the Portuguese to us. Let's curry some favors, get that going. See, because in the end, Florence, a diplomat, yeah, they're spying on us. We're all spying. In the end, fighting Castile is going to be pretty hard, but Portugal is kind of back and forth there. The Pope's opinion of us is going up. That's good. So we'll get rid of all these notifications that we don't care about. Let's go in. Since we have a little bit of gold and we're under our limit, let's go in and train a few more units here. And let's build a few more ships as well, just while we're at it. See, we cannot stand in the way of progress, or we must safeguard guild privileges. Yeah, let's do that. Let's safeguard the guild privileges. We have to. We can't make them angry right now. They already don't like us all that much. Plus, we get a pretty good bonus from them for giving them that little bit of power there. All right, let's see. Just kind of checking on the situation here, checking on these ships, make sure there's no light ships where there shouldn't be. Take a look, declare war. Portugal and Florence would still be involved. A new cardinal, yeah. Diplomat from the Papal State, yeah. Portugal and Florence are still involved, and Portugal isn't quite willing to not step in, even if we go to war with Aragon here. France is willing to go to war on our side, which is good because they're very powerful. Look at those numbers. Even with Portugal involved, I think we can still win, but I'd always rather eliminate an enemy if we can. Something Sun Tzu probably said or something about the best way to beat your enemy is to make sure they don't fight or whatever. He'd like to say things like that. If you feed your army, they will fight better. Brilliant wisdom. Anyway, France is dealing with rebels again. That's France. They do that a lot. Train that army up a little. They're getting pretty good. Getting pretty close on our admin and Diplotech. That's pretty good because we're a little bit behind, as you can see. So we definitely want to get that up a little bit. Over here, see we have 3 Diplo power because we're over the top on relations. We really need to get some more Diplo power per month. Okay. France wants us to go to war with the Pope and Brittany. Okay. All right. Well, it's not a great war, but we're at war, and this is a war we can mostly kind of sit out on, I think, and just kind of hang out. Our ships are down there. If that's not great, they're definitely going to lose. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Say we're definitely going to lose unless we can get our other ships. Yeah, we've dealt with worse. We won that battle. That's good. Allowed us to siege Rome. Diplomat in Florence. Yeah, whatever. pick up those ships and siege Rome, which we do need to do definitely here. But first we need to see if we can't beat up on that army, the papal army there. And there we go. Can see that no problem. Stack wipe that army, and now march on Rome. And you can see already how high the score is. See, France is just absolutely dominating. We're not doing all that much. We're kind of just hanging out here. We definitely don't want to conquer Rome because we get in a lot of trouble for that. It's actually not up there. It's down in the other modifier, but we don't want to conquer or occupy Rome unless we're Italy because we get a huge penalty for that. And see up there, France is just absolutely dominating. We're going to siege Rome for a while. We don't have enough artillery or ship cannons. Okay. Aragon's claiming our province. Yeah. So for now, we're just kind of hang out here and siege Rome. It's going to take us a while. Let's see. Triggered modifiers. There we go. Subjugation of the papacy. If we're not Italy, the Holy Roman Empire, and don't have a special modifier that disables it, then we get a huge diplomatic reputation malice for actually owning Rome. So definitely don't want to do that. Let's see. Go up here. Check on our modifiers. We don't have one. Can't form Italy yet because admin tech, and then we need to own all those northern provinces: Genoa, Milan, Firenze, Roma, all those. Now, two Sicilies might be another endgame tag. I'm not sure. If it is, that means that forming two Sicilies means you can't form Italy. I'm not sure. If you can only form one, Italy is a lot better, but if not, then it would be a good stepping stone on the way to actually forming Italy. So we'll see how that goes. Keep sieging Rome. It's going to take a while. It's a very well fortified city. Check on Portugal, see if they are still doing the same. We were going to go to war with Aragon, but unfortunately, this war with Brittany and the Hope and everything is making us not able to do that. Keep sieging Rome here. You can see that France is really dominating. In fact, they're about to make peace with Brittany. I dare say, yeah, look at that. They've totally taken over Brittany. Let's get an advisor. We have the gold, and we really need more diplo power. So let's get this advisor here. We've got the three trade people here. Check on our income. We can afford it. That's good. It's good. Now we have a little more diplo power coming in. Still sieging Rome. And we're almost there. There we go. Just like that. Conquest of Brittany is over. France takes a bunch of stuff. We got one province from the Papal States, which is nice. Ancona. Didn't really do much, but hey, France is a good friend for now. Who knows? They might actually remain friendly for a while. Unlike in a lot of these games, they don't actually own anything in Italy, really, so we don't actually need to plan to go to war with them, unlike Castile, who we kind of knew we were going to have to go to war with eventually. So we get our armies all put back together and kind of get them out of enemy territory here, get them back to training. And now we can go back to planning our war with Castile and Aragon if we can get them. There we go. They are willing to break their alliance with Castile, just like that, because they finally managed to like us enough. And just like that, it's Castile and Florence versus France. Milan. You can see Portugal will not join us, but that's fine. They're stay neutral, and that's really all we need is for them to stay neutral. France, Milan, Ferrara. Let's see. Collect the benefits over time. Yeah, let's do that. And just like that, making sure that they've got a big truce. Yep. And just like that, we've split the peninsula. Portugal is no longer aligned towards Castile, and we are in a place where we can go to war. So here we go, Milan, Ferrara, France, and we can actually give France some land so we don't have to use favors. And we want the core here. I want to check on which core specifically we want here. I'm going to move everyone down a little bit, kind of get all of our armies organized. The truce is like a decade long, so there's no chance, or I think 5 years, I guess, 6 years. So there's no chance of Portugal re-allying themselves with Castile. So we've got time now. Time and plenty of manpower to rebuild. Right, so there we go. Checking again. Florence will join them. There's no chance of stopping that, but that's fine. Kind of delaying here because it's a big war and it's kind of, you know, nerve-wracking a little bit. So we don't want to declare it and then get in the middle of it, but might as well declare it here and get this whole thing kind of going. All right, so like I said, I have no idea what happened. There's a whole bunch of time here missing. You can see we're on January of 78. We were on June of 77. I have no idea where that 6 months went. You can see that we started the war with Castile, and we're kind of losing right now, but not too much else right now. We're blockaded. Uh, Aragon's blockaded us, and we're trying to break out of our uh, the peninsula onto the boot. France isn't doing much yet. There we go. They just pulled back a little bit. Let's let him go where he wants. There we go. We're gonna fight. It's gonna be a pretty close battle. Well, close. I mean, relatively speaking, it's not really all that close, but there we go. And we're gonna siege this province. And let's see if we can't make the clergy happy a little bit here. There we go. That'll get them gradually getting less and less rebelly. So now we've got the siege going, and it's kind of tough because blockading will definitely help us take it faster. But also, we are not a strong enough navy to do that. So we kind of just have to stay here and hope. And since we can't actually bombard it, we don't have enough ships. The best thing we can really do is kind of stay out of sight. And once we get a little bit closer, but we can see here, there's a battle, but we're still going to get pulled into a battle. Even though we told them to retreat, they decided kind of to not do that. And so they're going to get themselves hurt because they just didn't retreat. I don't know why. In theory, it's supposed to be 2 days to retreat, and they took like 7, and there we go. We lost a bunch of stuff because they didn't do what I told them to when I told them to. That's exactly what I was worried about. That's why I didn't want them out in the first place, but oh well. Rebuild some ships and hopefully get some more competent captains this time who know how to maneuver when they're told to. Okay, that's fine. So, meanwhile, we're still sieging. And unlike our siege of Rome, this one's actually making some decent progress here. So we can see here, still going. It's not really going to be a lot of change. You can see that our thing has gone way up, and clearly France is up in the north doing some pretty good domination. Past the heretical Colombo. We don't really need to because we're all Catholic, and we're very strongly Catholic, at least now. When the Reformation comes, who knows? But that's a ways away. Let's see. We are getting kind of close. Negative 28. Close in terms of being able to eventually break through. Meanwhile, up north, yeah, can see that Florence is being destroyed. We got our port province, that's nice. And yeah, France is up there. Them and their vassals are sieging. There we go. Supply shortage, that's good. Negative 14. These kinds of things are kind of boring, but just mostly sitting here and watching them siege for a while. There we go. That should be, yep, 7. Okay, so now we can actually potentially take the province, which would be great. because taking the province would be what we need. So yeah, let's blockade it because it'll give us a boost. Excommunicate it again. That's annoying. Pope likes to do that sometimes. That's frustrating. We don't have the gold to deal with him. Well, we'll have to deal with him later, I guess. Let's see. Yep, they tried to take us out, but we dodged this time. They're going to pull back. And once they do, Austria is not a great power. Sucks for them. They should probably try doing better. Let's see. Austria doesn't want to be our ally. That's because we're not fighting their offensive wars, so let's kind of play them off each other. We're blockaded. And well, at this point, it doesn't matter too much because our armies are able to take the province even without the blockade. Florence wants peace, we can see. Let's take a look at that. They're ceded as a province. We're pillage them. We're forced to give us war reparations. It's not a bad deal, all things considered, but considering how badly they're beaten, can check here and see, yeah, their war morale is extremely low. And see how much of our current war scored from occupying Florentine provinces here. And we're gonna not let them out, no. We're gonna make them keep fighting. If they want out of the war, well, tell Aragon to give us the provinces we've demanded. Here, see here. See if we can find our button here. We can't get gold from them or soldiers, but oh well. There we go. We took that province. That's a huge step. Because now it means that we've got the war score. Let's see what we can get. So we want these provinces. They say no. We want all these provinces. They say absolutely not. Plus Malta. So absolutely not. Okay. So suggest demands. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay. So we keep fighting. All right. Save game. I always like to save here because autosaves are great, but when you're starting to do something important, you don't want to lose the progress you made if something goes wrong with autosave. So let's split our armies and take the rest of the island. If we can take Sicily, I say island, I mean it is an island technically, but take the boot. If we can take and hold on to Sicily here for a while, it'll be enough. Over time, the war score will tick up. We've got some allied French troops here to be nice and help us out. So if we can send the Aragonese off of the island there and take that province, and then France is going to take the tip of the boot, and now the blockade doesn't matter as we see. It's gray because we own or occupy both provinces on both sides of the crossing. So let's check again. They will give us one province, but they won't give us any others. So that's a good start. It means that we've won the war. It will give us that one province, but it won't give us any others. See how much prestige we're going to see. We don't want to gain prestige. So in theory, we could gain that one province and some gold, but we wouldn't get much of the gold because France contributed most of the war effort. So we're not going to take it, and we're going to send our troops up into the mainland to try and help out the French and see if we can't convince Castile to negotiate a little better. So let's unpause and send them up there. Can see France still sieging and they're broadly winning. You can see they've made some headway into Castile and they're trying to siege Aragon to very little effect on that one fort there. Austria still has Vladislav and no heir. Them having no heir is nice because it means we could potentially become the Holy Roman Emperor or put one of our people on their throne. You see that they're back up in the war morale. because the French fleet doesn't know how to coordinate properly and lost badly. You can see here. So if we clear Oxford, now we can take 2 provinces. That's good. And we can actually take 3 provinces, but only those specific three. 19. And if we try to take those two, 24, 33, 40, it's way too high. They won't accept it. No, absolutely no chance. Not yet. Can see that it's not all that far off, but it's pretty far off. So instead, we're going to go back to fighting. We're going to get our armies and send them up into Castile. Actually going to send them into Aragon and siege that fort there. Because French armies, they have some bonus modifiers that make them much tougher pound for pound than any other early game army, except maybe the Ottomans. So they're not a threat in terms of like that kind of stuff. Let's see, we do this little siege, and again, absolutely not. We could maybe take, in fact, they've actually dropped back down again. Probably a battle going on somewhere. Their war morale is back up, which is why they don't want to give us even the stuff they're willing to give us earlier. So, let's see here. That's a lot of troops. We do not want to fight them, so we're going to pull out of Osca. Then they have a reason to go past us to that French army. It's going to be kind of a game of chicken or cat and mouse, I guess you could say, where we want to avoid them, but we also want to avoid letting them get kind of the drop on all allied armies. So we're going to go up to help the French, and they're not going to attack them, but we can't risk them not attacking them and attacking us instead. Let's take a look. They give us those 3 provinces, Malta included, and 4, but they won't give us the 5th or the 6th. No, they just won't do it. There's no way to get them to give up what we need them to give up. We're getting closer as time goes on. You can see that they're not too far in the negative now, but we're going to keep fighting. So, see here, the French let's abandon their siege, and we try to take their siege, but we can't because they did it too quickly. It's annoying when they do that. Okay, they abandoned their siege they've been doing forever for like basically no reason. So we're going to leave that one. Check again. Still nothing. Okay, back to sieging it is. In fact, we're going to go attack this little army here. And diplomat from Florence again. They keep doing that. That's fine. We're going to go down here and attack these little armies. But the French and their little vassals keep getting to them. So let's go siege Toledo, which is the capital of Spain at this point. Madrid is not yet the capital. And try to take it. Because if we can take it, you can see right there, their war morale is way down just by having it sieged. And they still won't give us everything. They give us everything except Malta, which is a pretty good deal, and a bit of gold. See, it's actually pretty close. Like, really close. But no deal. So we're going to keep fighting. The pirates of Tunis keep raiding us. That is annoying. And right now, we kind of just need to sit back and mess up the Spanish forces. We're sieging Toledo. Warriors do not read books. Whatever. Milan is sieging in Aragon. France is doing whatever France is doing. Mostly hanging around and bothering Castile, I guess. Switch out of those offensive wars because I do not want to get called into another one of those. See here, we are, if we get rid of the gold, we are very close now. You can see that we have a claim on, we have a core on Malta, which is good because it makes it easier uh, to core and to integrate. The treasury is looking good. We're getting close on military. That's good. We're waist behind, so we definitely need to pick that up when we get the chance. All right, things are still going pretty good. We have very slowly but surely occupied parts of Castile. We're chasing the Castilians and Aragonese out. Let's see, compensate or loyalty from the Berbers. We have enough gold, but we don't really want to compensate them. We deal with the angry burghers for now. Call in a council and then build the thing eventually to bring them back up to the above 30% loyalty. It's fine. Venice is not a rival. That's nice. Doesn't really matter, but good for them. See here again somehow. There we go. It's up and down. Alliance breaking again. Probably Austria because we opted out of their wars again. So we need to keep them on side for now. But before we do, we look here, and they are willing to give us everything we've demanded and some gold. Now, I would love to keep pressing on them and to press for even more gold or for the Isles of Corsica. But first, let's go here to Austria. Let's click on that and re-enable that so they don't break the alliance with us. Can't trade any of that, so it is what it is. Curry favors so that we can get them and if we need them in the future so they don't break with us as easily. And we're kind of at a tipping point here because I would love to take Toledo and keep going, but I think that we're probably about as good as we're going to get in terms of war score. I think that we're going to get chased off Toledo here pretty soon. The French managed to lose another naval battle. And they're going to give us all the gold plus all of these provinces. You can see here that we're kind of getting close to taking Toledo, but we're not really all that close. Austria declared war and prevents. Good for them. Didn't ask us if going, which is nice. And we're gonna check again. So there we go. There's the army. Very large army marching towards us. We cannot beat them. So at this point, there's no way to escape, I don't think. I think that they're too fast. We can't count on the Milanese to save us. So let's check. If we drop, we need 171.9 gold. Most of it will go to France, but we'll get some gold. And all those provinces. I would love to keep fighting and take Toledo, but we're not going to beat that army. This is kind of our high water mark, I think. So let's cut our losses, take what we got, and there we go. Just like that, we've taken Sicily. And we've completed our mission, which is great. So now we own all of the southern Italy and get lots of prestige too, which is nice. And now let's get those armies out of Spain as quickly as possible. We could theoretically go to war with the Ottomans, but I'd rather not do that. Thank you. And we can't pay off the Pope yet. We still have disloyal people in government, but that's fine. 27%. See if we can't debase our currency again. Yep. And we're gonna correction a little more to as low as possible and pay off the Pope so he stops being so bothered with us. Historically accurate, by the way. Historically, the Pope hated the Italian leaders for like 40 years or something, up until Mussolini came in and said, hey, I'll give you a bunch of gold if you shut up and stop complaining. So now that we've won the wars, we kind of just have to destabilize, integrate those provinces. They're already ours, they were cold, so that's a huge step, but right there, we are doing pretty well at this point. You can see that Austria is doing their own thing. See, we have all a claim on all of those red provinces there. And take a look here, you can see that, figure out which one is button. There we go. Take a look at the diplomatic state. You can see here that France likes us, Portugal is on our side, Austria. We have claims in all of those provinces there in what's Greece today. But with that, we are going to cut it right there because this is very long. It's about half an hour. So we're going to cut it right there so this doesn't take forever. And we will see everyone again in the next part, which fortunately does not seem to be missing any time. In fact, none of the ones that have recorded at this point do. So we will see everyone in the next video. Thank you for watching.